You're listening to the UKC Hunting Ops Podcast, celebrating hunting dog heritage, competition, and community. United Kennel Club has been the hunting dog sports home for coonhounds, beagles, retrievers, pointers, cur, feist, and more for over 125 years.
Welcome back to the UKC Hunting Ops Podcast. This is Trevor Wade. I'm the Coonhound Program Manager at UKC, and I'm joined today by Alan Gingrich, the Director of Hunting Ops. What's going on, Alan?
Well, not a whole lot. It's another Monday here. You just got back from Youth Nationals, and that's what we're going to talk about. It sounded like it was a great event again this year.
Yeah, fresh on my mind. So got a lot of information here. Tried to compile as much as I could. You know, we're a lot of stuff going on today on a Monday, but compiled a lot of information here. Going to talk about some winners, and man, it was a fun weekend. We had awesome weather. You can't always say that about late July. A lot of times it's 95 degrees and you can't even breathe at night, and it's so muggy or humid out. But this weekend was nice.
I know you. I know you've had some hot ones since you've been going to the Youth Nationals in the last 4 or 5 years. There's two that really stand out to me that were just very hot. One was in North Carolina, Madison, North Carolina one year. It was upwards of 100 degrees. Another one was Miami, Oklahoma, or they're in not actually in Oklahoma, is
Seneca, Missouri.
Seneca, Missouri, right there, right on the line, I guess. But they're just, man, they were heat beaters for sure. But yeah, no, this weekend it looked like it was very pleasant.
Yeah, I couldn't beat it. And the kids kind of showed out. You know, anytime we go out of the middle, and I talked about it there a little bit. You know, anytime you go out of the belt, the coon hunting belt there in Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, you know, you're going off the grid a little bit of where sometimes it's harder for people to travel there. And this is an area and a club I thought had earned the right to host an event like this. They have what they call their Southern Iowa Youth Series, and we've talked about how that has drummed up a lot of interest, and they have a lot of participation at their events. And I think if you look at any certain pocket of any state, this one can compare with any of them as far as participation. And that's why I was so excited to get it there. And it didn't disappoint. I thought they had great numbers, you know, comparable to any other year we may have, you know, right in the same ballpark. A lot of people there that I met for the first time, and that, you know, you see them on Facebook sometimes and talking and things like that. So it was pretty neat to put some faces with names and that sort of thing. A whole different pocket of the country for me. I've only been to Iowa one other time. That was for our World Championship back in 2019.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed my time going to Iowa. A couple different clubs I've been to over there, but no, and I've been to this one several times and got a lot of good club members and good people over there. So I'm not surprised that he put on a good hunt for y'all.
Yeah, so just a broad recap of the weekend before we get into the specific different events. Over the course of the 2 nights, we had 2 night hunts. On Friday, we had 49 entries. On Saturday, we had 52 entries, which is kind of strange for a coonhound event. And that's a total of 101 hunt entries over the 2 nights. On Saturday, we had our non-licensed bench show where each kid can only enter 1 dog, and we had 41, you know, individual kids enter into the bench show. So I thought that was pretty darn good. Mm-hmm. And then we also had a licensed water race this year. They wanted to do it. They have a swim pond right there beside the clubhouse, and so we had a water race with 19 different dogs entered into that. So total of 161 entries in about a day and a half. So not very bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good, really. So, yeah.
Up there in Iowa, you kind of wonder if you're going to get some folks from the East Coast, down south, even Northeast. Those are some long drives, but we ended up having 19 states represented this weekend.
That's just outstanding. I'm just now looking at it here for the first time. 19 different states and where they all came from. That's amazing. And hey, thanks to all those kids that came from those that drove a good distance. You know, we're talking Iowa, and you're talking Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Missouri, North Carolina, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. That's pretty doggone good right there.
A couple of states I'm not really surprised. You know, they're long drives, but when you think of it, let's just be honest, when you look at the YEP events and where the events are, the numbers, these states, some of the states that you see on this list are states that have really successful youth series and youth programs, are investing a lot of time and resources into the youth in their state, and it makes the kids want to compete and they want to go try to earn a ride at the national championship. And if the parents see their kids this involved, I mean, think about travel sports, AAU basketball and travel baseball. We play it all summer. You spend a bunch of money, competitive cheerleading. You're talking archery shooting, rodeo, racing. Coon hunting is no different. If your
Yeah,
kid's interested in it and want to compete at the highest level, doesn't matter where you put the national championship.
that's right. That's right. Well represented this year as far as all the states.
Yeah. So we're going to start out. We're kind of going to go out of order here. I wanted to keep the two hunts together. So we're going to go ahead and fast forward to Saturday. Saturday is always a long day at Youth Nationals. We got started out at 2 p.m. with our bench show seminar, which was put on by none other than Autumn Bingham, who was our bench show judge. She's also, formerly known as Autumn Beelan before she got married to Jake Bingham. She's there in Avery Hill, Iowa now. And we talked about it a little bit on the when we talked about Youth Nationals before the event and talked about the ad and everything going on. Autumn is someone who grew up through this program and has had a lot of success in this program. And it's in some ways, it's kind of probably shaped her competitive career. And now she's competed at the highest level. She's won major awards. And now she's starting to judge some of those major events, including like state championships, breed championships, Winter Classic even.
Yeah, and does a great job with it. So I'm not surprised. She was a great pick and really the obvious pick for us to to have one there in Iowa. She being right there, why you can't. She was the right pick for it, and I'm sure she did a great job.
Yeah, absolutely. She did a really good seminar. Following the seminar, we got our show was at 4:00. We closed entries at 4. Started it just shortly thereafter, and we had a little overhang there. Really didn't need it as much this year as we have in years in the past, but we still utilized it to keep the dogs and the kids comfortable. So kind of how it works, and we've talked about it a little bit before. We break the kids down by their ages. So from 5 to 17, if you're 5 years old, you show against other 5-year-olds. 6, you show against other 6-year-olds, so on and so forth, all the way through 17.
In that class, that's so fun to watch that show. Ever since we've been doing it, every time I watched it, I used to, okay, the lower, the 5-6-year-old kids, they're kind of funny to watch, and just, they're just how they're leading their dogs through. There's kind of cool to see that. But you start getting into the 8 and the 9-year-olds, you start seeing that some of these kids are starting to get pretty good. You progress up through even just the 10, 11, and 12-year-olds. It's amazing how good they are. Then you get the upper tier kids, the seniors, 12 or the 13 and up. Yeah. And I love that. I love this format to where they are showing against other kids their age and oftentimes closer to their skill set.
That's right.
Love that.
Yep.
Love that. Right.
And since this show's kind of based on showmanship, you put a lot of it on showmanship, and also a lot, she put on a seminar. She went over a lot of stuff. She talked a lot about a lot of the stuff that she thinks makes a good handler, things she's going to be looking for. And hopefully the kids that were listening paid attention to that, because you could tell she was looking for certain things. She even said as much when she was making some selections. And I'd say the ones who paid a lot of attention probably did pretty well in the show.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. So first place in each age class got a trophy, a leash, a crate blanket, and a tumbler. Those 3 things were donated by Eukanuba. And then second and third place in each age class got ribbons. So they got a little bit of recognition. So with 41 total kids entered, Autumn knew she had her work cut out for her. It was going to be a long day. We got started off with the 5-year-olds. Second place in the 5-year-olds was Lincoln Bunting of Brighton, Illinois. He was handling a dog named Moonlight Mistress Maddie. And the 5-year-old winner this year was Kaylin Warner. She came all the way from Beverly, West Virginia, and she was able to win the 5-year-old age class with a leopard that Paisley Warner, her sister, and Abby McCorkle own, named Gregory's Princess Bella. So congratulations to Kaylin, just 5 years old, following in her sister's footsteps.
There you go. There you go. Looks like you had one 6-year-old in the 6-year-old class there, and oftentimes in the younger kids, they don't have as many. Sometimes here in the 6-year-old, you had one. Ashlyn Clement of West Des Moines, Iowa, handled a dog named Champion Arnett Smooth Talking F22. That was a blue tick that's owned by Tyler Arnett and Kiera and Ashlyn Clement, and also Belinda Arnett of Iowa.
Yeah. She was there with Tyler. I assume that's her, some relation to her. And Tyler had a camera with him the whole weekend. So I'm going to have to try to, I know I've talked to him via email before, so I'll have to reach out to him and see if he's posting some videos or pictures somewhere, see what he got. Because he always had the camera up. So I'd like to see what kind of content he got.
Yeah. Congratulations, Ashlyn.
7-year-olds, we had a couple 7-year-olds entered. Second place in the 7-year-old class was Naomi Bunting of Brighton, Illinois. She was handling a red bone owned by Chris Bunting named Outlaw Hank the Tank. And then the 7-year-old winner was Mr. Jackson Cable of Connorsville, Indiana, and he was handling a dog that him and his mom, Angie Cable, owned together named Rockin' W's Rock On.
Yeah, he was showing he's probably shown that dog a lot. It's a dog that they own there. So, yeah. Congratulations to Jackson and Naomi both. 8-year-olds, you didn't have none in the 8-year-old class, looks like this year, but it's kind of surprising. But moving on to the 9-year-old class, you had 3 winners there, 3 placements. Landon Musgrave of Fairmont, West Virginia, he was given the 3rd place ribbon. He handled a dog named Wonder If It's a Dream. That was a treeing walker that was owned by Wayne Musgrave, also of West Virginia. So Landon Musgrave in 3rd, and 2nd was Owen Rorvik of Peru, Indiana. He handled a confirmation champion Wabash River Rhinestone Cowgirl. That's a treeing walker female that is owned by his sisters Haley, Morgan, and Abby. Obviously, Owen is from Indiana. All of them are from Indiana. They're 2nd place. And 1st place winner in the 9-year-old division was Lindley Kneehair of Sheldon, Missouri. Handled a dog, Grand Champion 2 Sugar Camp Cinnamon Twist. That's an English dog that's owned by Robert Mitchell of Missouri. Lindley Kneehair. Congratulations to all of those.
Yeah, a couple of things to say about the 9-year-olds. Owen, he won a cast a couple weekends ago at a youth event, and he decided not to hunt this weekend. Don't want to blemish the 100% winning percentage he has right now. So
he gets that from Bryce Matthews, probably.
And Lindley, I will come back to Lindley because we're going to mention her sister in a little bit, but let's pocket Lindley for just a second.
That was the 9-year-old class.
10-year-olds also had more than 3 placements, so we got placed 3 of them. 3rd place was Macy Dunlap, coming all the way from Wadeboro, North Carolina, and she was handling a dog named Cedar Hill Scarlet, owned by Jason Dunlap of North Carolina as well. 2nd place in the 10-year-old, we already talked about little sis. Here's big sis. This is Paisley Warner from Beverly, West Virginia. She was handling her own dog, a leopard hound named Circle M, fancy like Applebee's. And then our 10-year-old winner this year was Lane Bally of Tomah, Wisconsin. Lane was handling Grand Champion 5, Confirmation Grand Champion Skyline Stay in Your Lane, owned by Megan O'Connor and Beth Jenkins.
Yeah, she obviously had a nice dog to handle there. I've seen that dog before, and so yeah, congratulations to all 3 of those 10-year-olds right there. 11-year-old division, 3rd place was Anna Davis, all the way from Orangeburg, South Carolina. She handled a dog named Bailey's Creek Screaming Jewel. That's a champion treeing walker owned by Annabelle Davis. And then in 2nd place was Brady Clark of Pennsylvania. He handled a champion dog named Black Log Valley Stop and Stare. That's a black and tan that's owned by Matt Clark. And then in 1st place in the 11-year-old division was Aubrey Kneehair of Sheldon, Missouri, handling American Country Style Bow. That's a treeing walker owned by Megan Kneehair, also of Missouri. So I'm assuming Aubrey is probably the sister of
Lindley?
Lindley, yeah.
Yeah, it was actually a couple years ago, and I have a picture on my phone that I saved that they posted online where I met these 2 young girls at a Redbone Days event. I believe it was in Peru, Indiana, if I'm not mistaken, to go back and look at that picture. But they were kind of just getting into it. You know, their parents are into it a little bit, and they're just now getting of age. Heck, they're 9 and 11 today, so who knows how old they were at that time. But
so then they also got to compete against each other in the overall, in the junior division.
Yeah, they would have came back and competed against each other.
I bet they have some good stories to share on the way home.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that they were ones I saw after the show. They wanted to talk to Autumn and get some pointers. So if you're doing that, putting that kind of effort into it, got a bright future.
Yep. That's what you can do there. There's a lot of people, very knowledgeable people there, you know, some of the adults, and a good place to get some information and ask for some advice from other people that might have more experience than you do.
That's right. That's right. And then we brought in our last junior division age class, which was the 12-year-olds. Really, really competitive age class. Actually had 2 past national champions here. In 3rd place, Nathan Eberly of Elwood, Indiana. He was handling a dog named Circle M Late Night Disaster, owned by Abby McCorkle and Megan O'Connor. 2nd place in the 12-year-olds was actually last year's junior national champion of the bench show, and that was Brooke Bally of Tomah, Wisconsin. She got 2nd in the 12-year-olds this year, handling a dog named Skyline Stop and Stare, owned by Beth Jenkins and Megan O'Connor. And this year, the 12-year-old winner is also a former junior national champion, and that's Colton Rorvik. He won it back when he was in Medina, Ohio. Colton's out of Peru, Indiana, and he was handling Wabash River Lost Highway, owned by Andy and Keith Emery and Curtis and Nikki Elburn.
Well, you and I both know Colton had a nice dog that he handled there. Obviously, that dog's won a lot, won Autumn Oaks, and won the top 10 invitational this last spring in Wisconsin or in at the Winter Classic.
Yep.
So yeah, you know Colton's gonna him and his sisters. They're all gonna get some nice dogs to show, and they love those coonhounds. They mess with them all the time. So Colton obviously did his homework too. And, you know, and they're not gimmies. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Right.
They have nice dogs. They're not gimmies. The judges are looking for a whole lot more than just a beautiful dog. You know, so congratulations to Colton there in the 12-year-old division. Going to be his last year in this with the junior division. He's moving up.
Yep, that's right. So the next thing we did there was we called. We got all the 5 through 12-year-old age class winners, brought them back to the ring there, and called them in one by one, gave them their moment to shine in front of the crowd, and then had to go back to work. Had to get those dogs set up and start showing for autumn again. And this year, our junior division bench show national champion, meaning they bested the rest of the junior division age class winners, was none other than the 12-year-old winner, Colton Rorvik, handling Wabash River Lost Highway. Colton, like I said, that's the second time he's won it. We've talked about his sister Morgan Elburn on here a couple times. She's won it several times. I can't remember off the top of my head. It may be 3. So he's coming for that crown. But as I talked about, that 12-year-old's division's tough. So every year he's going to have to compete against some tough individuals just to win his age class, let alone the whole thing. But,
yeah, no kidding. I saw that he had won it, and congratulations to Colton. Colton, nice job, buddy.
For Colton's win, he got his national championship trophy. So this is in addition to his age class wins here. He got a national championship trophy. He's going to be getting another embroidered jacket. He'll have several now. He can start wearing them hunting or whatever he wants to now. And he got 2 bags of Eukanuba Premium Performance dog food. So congratulations to Colton for his win.
And he also got the overall trophy. We should probably give some kudos here to the owners of the dog that he showed. His aunt, Annie Emery, and his uncle Keith owned the dog, and then his grandfather Curtis, and then his mom Nikki are all shown as owners on Lost Highway, dog he was showing. So, congratulations to all of them.
So then we released the juniors out to play football, tackle football, and go wrestle, and whatever they do now that they could take off their dress clothes now. Yeah. And we started working on the senior division, and the first thing we did was bring in the 13-year-olds. And third place in the 13-year-olds was Corwin Norton of Herdland, Missouri. Corwin was showing Sassy Daisy Duke, a dog that he owns with Corey Norton in Missouri. I believe that's his dad. Second place in the 13-year-old division was Kason Apple of Ottumwa, Iowa, just a local kid. And he was handling Digger's Blue Tucker, owned by Tyler Batterson of Iowa, just there close by. And then the 13-year-old age class winner was Sophia Edwards. She came from Pocahontas, Illinois, and she was handling Grand Champion 3, Confirmation Grand Champion, Skylines Hef Hugh, owned by Dan Sidwell of Illinois.
Well, there you go. Congratulations to all 3 of those kids there. Nice job. Moving on to the 14-year-olds, you had only had 2 in that class, I guess, this year. And second was a kid from Orangeburg, South Carolina, again, Dak Weeks. He handled a Grand Night Champion Shady Creek Kennel Lucy HTX. That's an English dog owned by Annabelle Davis and Jeremy Davis for South Carolina. Dak Weeks, second place. Congratulations to Dak there. And our first place winner here, this is going to be a tough class here with Jordan Brooks. Anyone that's in with her, she's a tough handler. She's from Pounding Mill, Virginia, and she won the 14-year-old class this year with a Grand Champion 3 All-American Western Justice. That's a treeing walker owned by Megan Perez and Jordan Brooks, and also Danny Perez of Missouri. So congratulations to Jordan.
Then we brought in our 15-year-olds, had a great class there as well. Third place in the 15-year-old class was Lakin Renfro of Russellville, Arkansas. Lakin was handling A&R's American Lookout Lucille, a black and tan owned by Jocelyn Renfro, which is actually her sister. Second place was Kaylin White of Bloomfield, Iowa. She was handling Grand Water Champion 2, Grand Champion Hall of Fame, Outlaw Jebediah, a red bone owned by Kelly and Corey Norton in Missouri. And then the overall winner for the 15-year-olds was Aiden Mitchell of Williamstown, Kentucky. Aiden was handling Cherry Creek Gotcha All Shook Up, a dog that another youth handler, Hannah Cable, owns. She's out in Ohio. So congratulations to Aiden on a great win against a pretty tough crowd.
Yeah, one thing I'll say about Aiden, he loves coonhounds, dogs. He loves hunting. You're going to be hard pressed to find anybody that loves to hunt and mess with dogs any more than Aiden Mitchell of Kentucky. He hunts the squirrel dogs. If he's not hunting squirrel dogs, he's hunting coonhounds. If he's not hunting, he's showing them. He's doing something with them, and probably if he had his choice, he would just have his hands on a dog and be around a dog 24/7.
Right.
And there's very few kids that love messing with dogs more than Aiden. Congratulations, Aiden. Good job. 16-year-old class, third place was a young lady from Liberty, Indiana, Hayden Bartram. Handled Hannah's Creek Maggie. That's a treeing walker owned and handled by Hayden. Was in third place. In second place, oh, I'm sorry. That is I am so sorry, Hayden. That is a
Young man.
boy. Yeah, young man there.
Yep.
So Tyler Chastain of Martin, Georgia, handled Rockin' W's Blue Tippy Tail, Blue Tick owned by Whitney Killow and Kayla Chastain of Arkansas. Tyler is a brother to Drake Chastain, who's been very successful at the Youth Nationals, did a lot of winning, and it's great to see young Tyler here also having some success here. Second place. First place was Chase Holthouse of Waverly, Iowa, handling Tennessee Lunatic Fringe, a plot owned by Christopher Holthouse and Chase, the handler, and also Tanner, all from Iowa. Chase Holthouse, 16-year-old class winner.
And then it was time for the 17-year-olds. I will say there were 6 entries in the 16-year-olds, so you know how tough that can be. And then 7 in the 17-year-old. That's a lot of in the older senior classes. So a really, really competitive 17-year-olds. As I was watching this class, looked like a class you'd see at a major event where everybody could enter. A lot of great handlers in there. But when the dust settled, third place was Alexis McCain of Harrison, Ohio. Alexis was showing her own dog, Little Miss Saturday Night. Second place was Mr. Jacob Brooks of Pound and Mill, Virginia. Jacob, man, he's become a really, really top-notch handler. I enjoy watching him show a dog. He was handling Grand Champion 2, Late Nights Way Out West, a tree and walker owned by Leslie and Eric Brooks' parents there in Virginia. And then your 17-year-old winner this year, Hannah Cable of Cleves, Ohio. She was handling her own dog.
Eukanuba, the official
Confirmation
performance
champion,
dog,
Grand
nutrition
Champion Hall of
partner
Fame,
of UKC.
The Midnight Gambler. That's a plot hound that she's had a lot of success with over the past several years.
Yeah, there you go. Hannah wins this division, the 17-year-old division. This was this group's final, or their last youth nationals because they'll age out for next year. But yeah, Hannah, Jacob, they're as good as they get, and that's got to be a tough class. And I apologize to Hayden. Alexis, I saw the pictures that they had posted of all the kids from Indiana there, and I must have got Alexis and Hayden mixed up there.
Yeah.
So I apologize there. But yeah, good job. And I think Alexis, this was her first
That's what
youth
she said.
nationals. Yeah, first and last, I guess, in this case, being 17 years old. So yeah. So congratulations to Alexis, Hannah, and Jacob, all three there in the 17-year-old class. So yeah, Hannah is so smooth. We watch her against. It doesn't matter what show. You're going to have a tough time beating her in an adult show, But just a great handler and good job. And that Midnight Gambler she's been showing, she's had that dog for a good while.
That's right.
Dog's been good to her.
Yeah. So then we brought back those 5 13 through 17-year-old winners. They came back in the ring for the title of Senior Division Bench Show National Champion. And this year, it was Hannah Cable handling her dog, Confirmation Champion, Grand Champion Hall of Fame, the Midnight Gambler. Hannah and Gambler, this is actually their second time achieving this feat. They did it also back in 2021 when we were down in Miami, Oklahoma. It was a lot hotter on that day, but she made a Facebook post, and dang nabbit, I should have refreshed myself on here. I want to think that she said that she's won her age class every time she's been to Youth Nationals for this many years. So you may go check it. It's been ever since before that 2021 run. So it's been at least, I think she said 6 years that she's done that, and now 2 overall wins, 2 national championships. She can go. If you were there, she was visibly emotional when she's done when she was selected, and she can be proud of what her and Gambler accomplished at the Youth Nationals event. On top of everything else they've done, but this is winning a second national championship with your same dog that she kind of came up with. Pretty great accomplishment.
Yeah, like I said, just what I just said a minute ago. Those two have done a lot of winning together. That dog has been good to her, and she's sure learned a lot, and she's just an expert handler.
Yep. Yeah, so actually, as the show was rolling on there, it was a lot of kids, and the water race deadline was 6 o'clock. So the water race deadline came while we were still showing. Though I made multiple announcements and everybody that wanted to enter got entered. We ended up having 19 dogs in the water race, which is kind of a fun thing to do. They got a nice little swim pond there. It makes for a busy day when you throw it in the middle of a hunting show, but the kids had fun with it. They were all gathered along the fence there watching it. That's always something that the people like to watch. So I did make note of the overall winners here for this, and we kind of added this on a whim. So we had already ordered trophies and everything, but I did make sure that each of the winners of the finals, line and tree winners in the finals, got a bag of Eukanuba Premium Performance dog food. We had some left over from a previous event, so at least they got a little something. We took their pictures and they got some recognition, and they had a lot of fun. They were covered in water by the time it was over with. You know how that goes.
Oh yeah.
But this year, so at this event, the grand final line and tree winner, who bested out a pretty good group of champions, was Kaylin White. We just mentioned her. She placed in the bench show and headed right over to the pond with the same dog, Grand Water Champion 2, Grand Champion Hall of Fame, Outlaw Jebediah, owned by Kelly and Corey Norton of Missouri. That's a red bone.
Yeah, there you go. Congratulations to them. Then you also had Chase Holthouse winning, Wyatt Steinbaugh and Naomi Bunting were also a couple of the other winners that you had on that day. So congratulations to all of them in the water race. With Eukanuba, stamina is the one difference I'm seeing. When I'm running hair up north, my dogs will put on 10, 12, 15 miles of solid running, and they just don't tire as easily or as quickly. Oftentimes, my work schedule does not allow me to have the desired physical conditioning on my dogs, but even then, as many as 25 or more miles a day of hard running is just another day in the office. To me, it's been apparent Eukanuba's 30-20 sport formula is making that difference. Eukanuba, the official performance dog nutrition partner of UKC.
So then we're going to talk about the night hunt, and obviously we had 2 night hunts. They started out on Friday night, and then we'll start out with our Friday night results, and then we'll move on to Saturday night. First, we'll talk about some of the prizes we had. First through 10th, we award first through 10th place each night at Youth Nationals, regardless of what division you're hunting in. Obviously, we split them up. 5 through 12-year-olds hunt against each other in the junior division. 13 to 17-year-olds hunt against each other in the senior division. But your score, you're put up against each other. We place a first through 10th regardless of that. And if you place first through 10th, you pretty much got the same thing. Maybe a trophy was a little bit bigger or something like that, but you got your trophy. You got a leash, a tumbler, and a crate blanket that were all 3 donated by Eukanuba, our partner. And then each of those 10 people each night, so 20 total, got a brand new Bright Eyes Light, straight sponsored by Bright Eyes Light and Ray Conrad.
Yep. And again, I want to thank Ray and Bright Eyes for sponsoring all those lights. And those are nice little lights too for them. They're it's a good little light, and 20 of them he gave away here just for the 10 on Friday and 10 on Saturday. Good little prize package for them, first through 10th.
The way it worked out, we did have more than 10 plus point cast winners each night, and I couldn't turn them away or let them go empty handed. So I went over to Carolina Coon Hunters and saw Jeremy Davis first thing on Saturday morning when I saw we had 2 extra cast winners that we didn't have awards for. And so I picked out a few things off the shelf and went up to him, had my card out. I was going to give him some payment, and he told me, no, go ahead. So that tells you the kind of guy he is. He had already gave me a bag of stuff back at English Days and gave me some more goodies that he sponsored the event by giving me some more stuff. So really appreciate Jeremy. There's a lot of good guys out there, and he's one drove all the way from Orangeburg, South Carolina, set up here. His kids competed in every event on the weekend. I think they had a good time, and he's always going to be there to give you a helping hand. So I really appreciate Jeremy.
Yeah, thanks to him. Carolina Coon Hunters.
Friday night hunt results. I will say our Master of Hound, Mr. Tim Gilchrist. If you've been to any major event over the past several years, you've probably seen Tim there. He's done them all.
I got pulled over by Tim before.
If you've been pulled over in southern Iowa, it could have been Tim.
It might have been Tim.
I asked
no
him.
reason he will pull people over for absolutely no reason. That's why he lost his job.
Jeez. Oh goodness. Well, I don't even have nothing to say about that. I think Tim is he's retired, so
Was that it?
I'll take up for him. Yeah,
He retired. Okay.
but
You'll have to listen to another episode. I had a little story where he pulled me over one time, but we'll leave it at that. Go check out that episode.
yep.
I think it was the other youth episode we did.
It was the Youth Nationals preview episode.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Doing some cross promotion there.
There you go.
Yeah. So, yeah. For my opening ceremonies, I talked to Tim. I wanted to know how long he'd been involved with, how long he'd been a field rep for UKC. In 2004, he's been around now for 20 years.
Yep.
Wow.
He was, a lot of folks probably think, he was a Redbone guy or whatever. They might think I'm the one that brought him on, but it wasn't that. He was actually already on just before I started. I think that same year they hired him before I came on. So, yeah. And he's a good rules guy, too.
He is. Yep. Absolutely. He did a great job this week, and I always enjoy having fun or working an event with him. We always have a great time cutting up and joking.
Yep.
Keeps it light.
Good
but
guy.
He gets the job done. We had 49 entries, like I said at the beginning of the podcast on Friday night, 20 juniors and 29 seniors. And the top 10 went a little like this, and I guess we'll just alternate here, Alan.
Okay.
Let's start with the other cast winners. Let's work our way up. I think we'll do better here. So
there you go.
Basically, our 12th place dog was, again, Corwin Norton. We've said his name a couple of times here. Corwin is there from Brassia, Missouri.
You had plus point cast winners in every cast? Didn't have any dead cast, or did you?
There was 13 casts. We had one dead cast.
Yeah. Had one dead cast. That's not bad at all, though.
Not bad at all. Yeah. Corwin Norton of Brassia, Missouri. He's 13 years old, and he won his cast with 150 plus. He was handling a dog named Finley River Havoc, owned by Billy Joe Washington Jr. there in Missouri.
Yeah, score 175 plus was Kalen White of Bloomfield, Iowa. That's right close by there. A local 15-year-old handling Grand Night champion Eaton Soap Creek, a little bit of Treeing Walker, owned by Nathan Eaton, 175.
Yeah.
Just out of the top 10.
That's right.
Yeah.
Here we go to our top 10. In 10th place, we had Lydia Hayes of Sullivan, Illinois. Lydia is 9 years old, and she was handling the Kaskaskia River Blue Big D, a blue tick owned by Mr. Mark Vandervenner of Illinois. She had 175 plus.
There you go. You may have already mentioned it or not, but the kids are split up by, lower division and upper division. That's how they draw out 13 and older and 12 and under. They all draw out separately. But when we place them, we just then place them by score. So,
that's right.
In 9th place, a score of 275 plus was a 16-year-old Dane Blessing of Memphis, Missouri. He handled a Grand Night champion, Blessings, Rage, and Roxy. That is a blue tick that's owned by Henry and Dane Blessing. 275 plus, 9th place.
8th place was Miss Brooke Sneed of Cherryville, North Carolina. Brooke is 15 years old now, and she was handling Grand Night Champion 3 No Name Ep, a tree and walker that her dad, Daniel Sneed, owns, and she finished the night with 375 plus.
Yeah, she was last year's winner, 2022 or 2023 national champion. 7th place was a 17-year-old from Moravia, Iowa. Keely Anderson handled Grand Night champion Midnight Rain, a tree and walker owned by Kevin Hoagland of Iowa, 400 plus.
6th place here was Hayden Bartram of Liberty, Indiana. Hayden's 16 years old, and he was handling a national Grand Champion, won Autumn Oaks a couple years ago, Grand Night Champion 2, Hannah's Creek Dolly. That's a dog that Mike Carmack and Lance Belcher own, and scored 400 plus, good enough for 6th.
Yeah, he had another 400 plus here for 5th, so we had 3 of them tied with 400 plus. 5th was a 12-year-old Easton Kissamore of Elk Garden, West Virginia, handling Grand Night champion, Grand Champion Nathan's Green Mountain Willie. That's an English dog that's owned by Nathan Kissamore, 400 plus, 5th place.
Moving up to 4th place here, we have Braxton Ryhard of Waverly, Iowa. Braxton's just 10 years old, and he was handling a dog named Night Champion Heat Seeker Unleash the Chaos. That's an English dog that Allie Swanson and Gage Smith own, and they're from Iowa. 475 plus for Braxton.
There you go. 500 plus was 3rd place, and that was won by a 13-year-old from right nearby there in Ottumwa, Iowa, Kaysen Apple. He handled a dog named Night Champion Diggers Blue Tucker, a blue tick owned by Tyler Batterson there of Iowa, 500 plus. And here I will when we did the preview for the Nationals, we mentioned Kaysen Apple, and I thought I might know who his dad was. I was way off. So But yeah, get a chance to get that corrected. But hey, congratulations, Case, in third place. That was a great show on Friday night.
Second place here, we have John Matthew Cumby. I think his name's John here. 14 years old is what he is. I don't know exactly where he's from. He's from Tennessee, I know, but we don't have a junior handler enrollment form filled out for John. So if you're listening to this, if you want to fill one of those out, email it in. That'd be awesome. John was handling night champion Hunter's Wipeout Louie. That's a tree and walker owned by Mike Fields and Sean Edgman, and Mike just there local in Iowa. But Mr. John here ended with 550 plus. Him and Louie put on a show Friday night.
Yep, I've hunted with Mike numerous times out there in Iowa, and he's always had some good females, the ones I hunted with. And your overall winner scored 800 plus, a young kid from Indiana, Connorsville, a 7-year-old, Jackson Cable. I think we mentioned him in the show. He was handling Less Fame, More Fortune, a treeing walker owned by his dad, Kevin Cable Jr., 800 plus, first place, Jackson Cable. Good job, Jackson. That must have been one heck of a hunt he had.
He's come a long way since the Slinky Dog days, hasn't he?
No kidding. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's fast forward to tonight, Saturday night. You know, I talked about it sometimes at a lot of coonhound events, you'll see Saturday night dip off a little bit. But I think actually because of some of the fair things they had going on and different obligations people have, we actually had more dogs on Saturday. Tim was again our master of hounds. We had 52 entries, 21 juniors and 31 seniors, and having more dogs there. Tyler and Tim were running around trying to make sure they had all their guides and judges in place. They did a great job at that. So we actually had 14 casts, and we had 11 plus point cast winners on this one. So we had one extra, and again, we still had some goodies to give him thanks to Carolina Coon Hunters. And in 11th place was Nicholas Shellhorn. Nick is out of Rhea, Missouri. He's 16 years old, and he was handling night champion Evans Dry Creek Wild Rita, a dog owned by Troy Shellhorn, Nicholas Shellhorn, Shane Cannon, and Asa Briggs. He had 25 plus. What a crew of owners that is.
Yeah, there you go. All right, here we get into 10th place. That was a dog had 75 plus, a blue tick that was handled by 16-year-old Dane Blessing of Memphis, Missouri. Seems like I mentioned that name just from Friday night as well, so a double cast winner here. Blessings Ragin' Roxy, owned by Henry and Dane Blessing. 10th place.
9th place was Reagan Middlesworth of Ottumwa, Iowa. So another local kid there. He is 16 years old, and he handled night champion Pine Ridge Storm, owned by Chad Francis, to 9th place with a 150 plus cast win.
Yeah, 8th place was a young 7-year-old from Brighton, Illinois, Naomi Bunting. She handled a water champion, Raisin Cane. It's a black and tan that is owned by Christopher and Sarah Bunting. 200 plus, 8th place for Naomi.
If you would have saw Naomi come in to get her win picture, you would have realized why we got rid of that junior division final cast.
She was done.
She was sleepwalking.
She was sleepwalking.
It was so funny. But congratulations, 7-year-old. That's a long day. She was out playing all day and then won a coon hunt. Congratulations.
Yeah.
7th place, another name we've mentioned before here, Braxton Reihard of Waverly, Iowa. The 10-year-old handled again Heat Seeker Unleashed the Chaos, owned by Allie Swanson and Gage Smith, to another cast win, this time with 200 plus, good enough for 7th.
Yeah, here's Jackson Cable of Connorsville, Indiana, the 7-year-old. He handled Less Fame, More Fortune again on Saturday night. Again, was a cast winner. That makes him a 2-night cast winner, 225 plus.
And then in 5th place, another double cast winner, Kason Apple, Ottumwa, Iowa, 13-year-old. He's handling Digger's Blue Tucker, owned by Tyler Batterson, 225 on Saturday night.
There you go. Congratulations, Kason, double cast winner. Here is a name I saw at a different event here a while back. She was competing for a four-wheeler here a week or two ago. I saw Sydney Davis of Butler, Missouri. She's 16 years old. Handled night champion Davis's Dialed In Liz. That's a treeing walker owned by Brian Davis, also of Missouri. 225 plus for 4th place on Saturday night. Congratulations, Sydney.
One of the teenagers at this event that just seem so mature for their age.
Yeah.
Do a lot more than you would think at that age. So.
Yeah.
3rd place here, Brooke Sneed. There's that name again. Brooke Sneed of Cherryville, North Carolina. She's 15, and her and No Name Ep have made quite the duo. They are on a hot streak. That's a dog her dad, Daniel Sneed, owns. She came all the way from North Carolina and she doubled up, third place on Saturday night with 225 plus.
Good for her. Good for her. Runner up on Saturday night, second place, scored 350 plus. Nick Jordan, he's a 16-year-old from Novinger, Missouri. Handled NJ Comahawk. That's a treeing walker owned by Nick Jordan, also of Missouri, 350 plus. Actually, is that spelled differently? Is that the owner handler? Same, okay, owner handler, Nick Jordan. There you go.
And first place on Saturday night was Ricky Barnes. Ricky's just 9 years old, and he's there from Murray, Iowa. And Ricky was handling Grand Night Champion 2, Bad Melonhead. That's a tree and walker owned by Matthew Barnes and David Keller III of Iowa. Ricky and Bad Melonhead had 450 plus, good enough for first place.
Yeah, some of these kids are hunting some dogs that have done some winning, some big winning. Melonhead here is one. I remember him being in the World Finals, I think, several years ago. So, yeah, congratulations to everybody Saturday night. That's your top 10 right there. Good job.
Yeah, so as you know, before we took entries even, I made a list here of just the names of cast winners to kind of help me keep up with it. And as they were rolling in, I was making little notes on who had doubled up and who hadn't. And first, I guess we'll talk about our junior division.
Okay.
Obviously, we had 4 cast winners on Friday night, and we had another 4 on Saturday night. And out of those, we had 2 double cast winners. And we mentioned both of these people a couple times. One of them was little Braxton Ryhard. Braxton was handling Night Champion Heat Seeker Unleash the Chaos. Had a couple cast wins, 475 plus on Friday and 200 plus on Saturday. Ended with 675 plus. Great weekend. Fell just a little bit short of this year's junior division national champion, which was Jackson Cable of Connorsville, Indiana. What a weekend for Jackson Cable, and less fame, more fortune. On Friday night, he was first overall with 800 plus, like you mentioned. On Saturday, he was able to get a cast win with 225 plus. Those double cast wins with a combined score of 1,025 plus was good enough to make him this year's junior national champion.
So he is, what is he, 9?
7.
7 years old. Gosh darn, he's got a whole life ahead of him. Already a junior national champion. Yeah, so he's in his family. That's what they do. They just hunt. It's all about the dogs and this and that. And it seems like he just has a lot of fun. He's always smiling and having fun, showing with his mom and hunting dogs now and stuff like that. So that's good to see. Congratulations. Good job, Jackson.
Great win for him.
$1,000 tuition award he gets for this.
Oh yeah, good.
Yeah.
Way to bring that up. Yeah, he got the $1,000 tuition award. He's going to be getting him a nice embroidered jacket to commemorate his win, along with a national championship trophy, and then 2 bags of Eukanuba Premium Performance dog food. So that's in addition to his placement awards each night. So they probably had to move some stuff over in the truck to make room for all that stuff. So
yeah,
congratulations, Jackson.
I can see him getting a little more tuition money before he graduates high school here, and he might be able to pay his own way through college if that's what he wants to do.
Already got a $1,000 scholarship in the bank, and he's 7 years old. He's doing pretty good.
I'd say so.
Well, over on the senior side, what we were looking for was not an overall winner. We were looking for a final cast. We were looking to see who the 4 individuals were going to be who made it. So on Friday night, we had 8 plus point cast winners. And on Saturday, as they rolled in, looked like we had 7 plus point cast winners. And comparing the 2 nights, we ended up with 3 double cast winners who automatically moved on. We had Case and Apple. He had 725 plus combined over the 2 nights, with his 500 cast win on Friday and his 225 on Saturday. We had Miss Brooks Sneed, who had 600 combined with her 375 on Friday and her 225 on Saturday. And then we had Dane Blessing, who had 275 on Friday and 75 on Saturday for a total of 350 plus. So then we went to our next, our single night highest score. This person did have to hunt both nights, and he did. And he was actually our second place dog on Friday night. That was John Cumby that we talked about. He had 550 plus, and that 550 plus got him into the final cast.
Yeah, so 3 double cast winners and a single cast winner.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sent them out to the woods, and man, it was late. It was you know how it is after you hunt an hour and a half. You probably some of them had to drive a little bit. Probably we sent them out. I think 1:45ish, almost 2:00 in the morning Central Time. So we sent them out, and you could sometimes wonder that late. But I had drove around. I had my family there with me this weekend, and my youngest one was she was being a menace there. So actually, we put her in her car seat and drove around for about 20 minutes to let her fall asleep. So I saw just saying that because I saw 6 coons driving down the road,
Really?
down their gravel road. So they were still moving at that time. That must have been 2:30 or 3 o'clock by that time.
Yeah.
And on this final cast, a 1 hour final cast, they scored on 4 coons. Let's see, Wipeout Louie treat a coon, Raging Roxy treat a coon, and Tucker. He fell a little bit short here, but No Name Ep with his handler Brooke Sneed actually treed 2 coons, and that's what they needed in order to be crowned again for the second year in a row our senior division national champion, Miss Brooke Sneed.
Yeah, congratulations to Brooke there. She had the highest combined double cast win score for both nights, did she not? I think she had the. Did she?
She had 600.
600.
Kaysen had 725.
So, okay,
but,
so
yep.
just but there you go. So congratulations to her. Yeah, how 2 years in a row. That's got to be pretty exciting. And made the trip all the way over from North Carolina again, and gosh, that had to be another good trip back home. Was her dad there? I assume she came with her dad.
Yep, I talked to Daniel actually as I was taking his picture there. It looks like they turned in their scorecard at 4:12 in the morning.
Yeah.
So they come rolling in there, probably took pictures about 4:20, and I'm talking to Daniel there, and I remember I had called Daniel because she won the Spotlight Series. So I was wondering if I should bring her jacket or if he wanted me to mail it to him or what the best thing. He said, I don't think we're going to make it. That's a long way. And then he actually sent me a message just a couple of weeks later and said, actually, it looks like we may be coming. And when I talked to him there, she was pretty insistent on wanting to be here. And I just made a comment. I bet it was worth the drive coming here. And he said, yeah, I'm super glad we came. So, man, that's a father-son duo that, geez, that has to be moments that they'll remember forever.
Yeah, and and on a short list of dual winners or multiple time winners, Drake Chastain. There was a couple of them. I should have looked it up before we came down here. I don't know if you did or not, but that's a very short list that have won it more than one time for sure. And she's not one of them. So congratulations to her. And we talked about tuition money for Jackson here a little bit. He's got at 7 years old. He's got 1,000, and what is hold is
Brooke is 15.
15. So she got 3,000 last year. So here's another. She's up to 6,000 now from us. So and she still has a couple.
2 years left.
2 years left. So she can add to that as well, maybe.
When you think about it this way, winning 2 years in a row, she's won 6 casts in a row at Youth Nationals. If next year on Friday night, I wouldn't want to draw her. She's on a hot streak. See, that's not easy to do if you count the Friday and Saturday night of each one of them, and then the final cast. So
So hey, congratulations to Brooke. That's just outstanding. What a weekend! I'm sure. Can't imagine. But and then the other 3 as well. They also walked away with $2,000 apiece for second, third, and fourth in tuition money that will be set aside for them.
Yep. I'll just go through them here real quick. So our senior division national champion, like we said, was Brooke Sneed with No Name Ep. $3,000 tuition award. Got her another embroidered jacket. That'll be 3 she's got the past year. A vest from Carolina Coon Hunters, which Jackson Cable got that as well, and I may have overlooked that whenever I was telling about the awards. But Jeremy Davis donated two of his Avery edition vests from Carolina Coon Hunters for each of them, and then 2 bags of Eukanuba Premium Performance dog food to go along with her national championship trophy. Second place was Dane Blessing with Blessing's Raging Roxy. He got third place with John Matthew Cumby with Hunter's Wipeout Louie, and fourth place was Case and Apple with Digger's Blue Tucker. And second through fourth, that final cast, they all get the same thing. Second through fourth, they each got $2,000 tuition award. They got a final cast trophy, and they each got a bag of Eukanuba Premium Performance dog food to go along with their placement awards as well. So congratulations to all those big time winners. I made some notes here on the Coon Scored. Just always like looking at that, and Iowa always is eye-opening for me because I'm kind of going through the history of the World Championship right now. And so far, from what I can tell, 2019 in Iowa may have been the first year where every cast at the World Championship Finals had a plus point cast winner. I'm not all the way there yet. I still have some years to go through, but I think that's pretty rare. It hasn't happened all the way up through 2005 right now, so there's a little window there I haven't checked yet, but that may have been the first time that ever happened. Now, it did happen in Peru, Indiana after that, but all that to say, this is coon country. There's, we can't downplay how many coon there are in southern, in mid to southern Iowa, or all over the entire state of Iowa with all the agriculture they have there. But Thursday night we had 13 casts. We had 12 plus point cast winners, 82 coons seen, 46 coons scored, for a total of 3.5 coons scored per cast.
That is pretty incredible. 3.5 per cast. You can't beat that at all. That's obviously, it just goes to prove what you just talked about. They have a great population there, and even here in the kids hunt, those their dogs were getting them treed.
On Saturday night, 14 cast.
What was the weather like then? You said it was in the evening. During the day, it was nice. In the evening too, was it cloudy? What was it?
So it was a little overcast. We had some decent cloud cover on Friday. It was highs in like 77, lows at anyone's at dark, high 50s, low 60s. There was a good breeze on Friday. We actually ended up getting a little bit of rain, which that area severely needed later in the night.
That's so perfect.
Saturday night, we got a little bit of rain in the day, just enough to, not even enough to knock the dust down, really. They needed quite a bit more rain. Didn't get too awful hot, but it was a little muggy. I don't know if that was from the rain. There wasn't much wind blowing, and you could kind of tell by the coon score. The coons didn't move as well early Saturday night. Maybe they moved a little bit later. The moon was a little bit bright.
Well, we talked about it earlier today. You were talking about, we've been getting a lot of rain around here, and you said in Wisconsin the same thing, but here you said it was a little dry.
Yeah, it was very dry, very dry. Saturday, like I said, coons didn't move as well, and that was evident by the scores. I think they moved better late, honestly. But Saturday, 14 casts, 11 plus point cast winners. 45 coons were seen on those casts, 28 were scored, but still 2 coons scored per cast on 90-minute casts. Not bad. On our final cast, obviously late, I've just put in here for the numbers. Obviously, they've seen 4 coons and they scored 4 coons on that cast. So for the weekend total, 28 cast total, 24 plus point cast winners, 131 coons seen, 78 coons scored, and 2.8 coons scored per cast.
That's a recipe for a good hunt right there.
And I will say this, on 3 of the dead casts, they scored coons and ended up either minusing out or that's a youth cast, it is, or they off game or something of that nature. So actually only 1 of the 28 casts didn't score on a coon, period. So very great weekend. And that'll segue us into our next topic here. Shout out to the guides for the weekend. Guiding for major events obviously is something that you have to put on a quality major event. And we have a great list of guide names here. First, we have Bill Gehring. He actually, I didn't meet Bill. He had people there that were guiding to his spots. And so he guided 2 casts each night, Friday and Saturday. He guided 4 casts total that had his name on there as guide. So thanks, Bill. Mike Fields guided 3 casts over the weekend, one Friday night, Saturday night, and he actually guided the final cast late. His wife, Chris Fields, guided 2 casts, so they were a very big help for the event. Jack Bingham.
Always have been. Every time I've been in Iowa, too, when they've had events out there, we've had other events there before, and they've been there for a long time. Always help.
Absolutely. Jack Bingham guided 2 casts.
Captain Bingham. Jack, we call him.
Yeah.
Here at UKC.
That's right. Jacob Bingham guided 2 casts. Josh McBee, Kevin Hoagland, Nate Eaton, Sean Edgman, and Zach McBee. They all guided 2 casts each. And then we have a little short list here of people who guided one night or the other, depending on who was what. Darren Batterson, David Keaton, Dean Bragg, Corey Norton, and Tyler Batterson. And then judges. You got to have guides, but you got to have judges. And that's often probably the hardest thing for clubs to do who are hosting youth nationals. It's getting enough qualified non-hunting judges. And, they're kids. And a lot of times it's a pretty simple thing to do, but it takes a certain individual to be able to be out there and to not only be able to judge the cast and know the rules, but know how to deal with the young folks and make it into a little bit of a learning experience. I'm not saying to break down every single thing that happens, but if a kid has a question, to do that, or maybe explain a call you made or point to a certain rule. And this is a great opportunity. You have this many kids in front of you. Try to teach them something that they can take with them forever.
Absolutely.
Zach McBee led the way judging. He judged each round available Friday, Saturday, and then he judged the final cast for us. So I appreciate Zach. I know that was a long night for him after he went to a wedding all day Saturday, came in his nice decked out clothes and went out and judged 2 casts on Saturday night.
Hey, he's a dog man too, but here's, we talk sometimes about helping or give back to the sport. There's a lot of different ways you can. helping out at some of these youth hunts like this. Man, a lot to be said here. Thank him for it.
We got a long list of people here who judged 2 casts over the weekend. Blaine Stout, Brian Castor, Dean Bragg, Jack Bingham, Jacob Bingham, James Arnold, Jeff Powers, Justin Zook, Ron Hudson, and Tyler Batterson. They all each judged 2 casts each. And then there's got a few folks here who judged when they needed them to. 1 cast each. Darren Batterson, David Keaton, Hunter Him, Corey Norton, and Nova Klein. Shout out to that whole list. Thank you guys so much for volunteering your time to come and judge and guide at Youth Nationals. Really means a lot to us, and you are a big part of helping progress the sport, the youth of our sport. So, real quick, just because we did it there at Youth Nationals, we awarded our Spotlight Series winners. Our Next Generation Spotlight Series, as always, is presented by Bright Eyes Lights. So another shout out to Ray Conrad and Bright Eyes Lights for all they do. Overall winners that you'll see their pictures if you've probably seen them. Our Night Hunt Senior Division overall Spotlight Series winner Brooks Sneed, 2-time national champ now. Night Hunt Junior Division winner Brady Clark. He won the Spotlight Series. If he won the Spotlight Series, his dad was going to bring him all the way from Pennsylvania to Iowa. So good job, Brady. You made Dad come off some of that gas money to bring you out there. Hope you guys had a great time. Bench Show Senior Division Spotlight Series winner was Jordan Brooks, all the way from Virginia, came out and got her stuff. Thank you, Jordan. Congratulations on an awesome year. Great point total. Go back and listen to our Spotlight Series episode to hear all about Jordan's incredible run this year. And then our Bench Show Junior Division was last year's national champion, Brooke Bally. They're from Wisconsin. Congratulations to Brooke. We also have started the past couple of years to give out certificates to anybody who made the top 5. And if you heard our Spotlight Series and you heard us mention you or someone you know who wasn't there to able to get a certificate, I'm actually going to work on mailing out those certificates right here early this week, the week following Youth Nationals. So expect to be getting that in the mailbox pretty soon. I'm going to try to make it up to where they don't get bent or cranked up or anything. I'm going to try my best to make sure those get to you in good manner so you can put them on your refrigerator or put them in your records, and a great accomplishment for all those people. At this point, if you're wanting to see some results on the event, all the results are live on the website. They have been all weekend. I was updating them as I could with limited service out there. As soon as I got back to the hotel, I was putting them on there, so you can find full results at ukcdogs.com. Go to the Coonhound results and standings page. Go check out UKC Coonhound's Facebook page. There's going to be some pictures and some coverage on there. And then following days, hopefully the pictures will be up on Smug Mug anytime. I actually got them all uploaded today. They're working on editing them and putting them on Smug Mug for people to look at and do what they will with it. I do want to mention Josh Michaelis. A lot of people in our sport know Josh Michaelis. He's done a lot as far as podcasting and doing videos and things like that, and he was there. We weren't very far from his where he lives at, a couple hours, and he was there and he videoed a lot of the stuff that was going on, as well as the bench show, just being around the event. And I think I know he went on the final cast, the senior division final cast, and hoping that a video comes out for him pretty darn soon. I do have some thank yous I want to give out. Tyler Batterson, Tim Gilchrist, and the entire team at the Mid-American Coon Hunters Association. They did a great job putting on this event. I appreciate them helping me out and hosting this event. It was a great location. I think everybody had an awesome time. So thank you guys for that. And I know Tyler right now, if he was sitting beside me, he'd say, don't forget about the other clubs. And I'm not going to. They're here on my notes. I want to talk about everybody who participates in the Southern Iowa Youth Series. Mid-American Coon Hunters Association, South Central Iowa Club, the Red Rock Club, Cedar Creek Club, the Four Rivers Club, and also want to mention Northern Missouri. It was about, obviously we're pretty close to the Missouri line there. A lot of the guides and judges came up from that way, from around Memphis, Missouri, La Plata, Missouri, Zach McBee and that whole crew. Thank you so much for coming up. That's an area that hosts our TOC region, a lot of major events, and just a great place in the country. I do want to thank Jenna, my wife, for coming up with me. I think she met a lot of fine people. She had a great time, so I appreciate everybody making her feel welcome. And she saved my hind end this weekend. She helped me out with a lot of stuff. She was supposed to just be a helper, and she ended up being my right hand man, my main help. So I really appreciate all the work that she did. And I personally want to thank all the parents and the people that made it possible bringing their kids out to this event. Like we said, whether you drove 5 miles down the road or whether you drove 20 hours, thank you so much for coming and supporting Youth Nationals and UKC. Means a lot. I hope you guys had an awesome time.
Yeah, and as the director of hunting ops, I also want to thank all these folks, all the judges, the guides. I know it takes a lot of folks to put on a good event. The host club, you mentioned all of them. Appreciate all of the clubs that helped out, all the judges, guides. Josh Michaelis, appreciate everything he does for the sport as far as putting the sport out there, promoting. Hope, and I look forward to seeing some of that. You mentioned Jenna, appreciate Jenna going with you and helping you. And you mentioned the parents and everybody that brought the kids. Thanks to each one of those as well. Autumn Bingham for judging the show. And then I also want to thank you, Trevor, for everything you do for the sport and everything you put into this. I know you put in a lot of your time and effort into this, and you have a lot of passion for it, and you do a great job with it. And thank you as well. So thanks to everybody, and congratulations to all the winners.
I appreciate it. Learned from one of the best, so I appreciate it. But to end it, I just want to mention really quick those partners and sponsors. I know we mentioned them a few times, but want to give them the final kudos for helping us make this event what it is. Eukanuba, the official performance dog nutrition partner of UKC. Dogtra, the official GPS collar partner of UKC. Bright Eyes Light, Ray Conrad. Thank you so much, Ray, for all you do. And also Carolina Coon Hunters. Thank you for being there. Thank you for helping me out when I needed some stuff and donating a few things to the event. Thank you. Alan, I know we both have new Dogtra Pathfinder 2s. How are you liking yours so far?
I'm liking it. I've even had the opportunity now to use mine where I didn't have service, where I download the map of that area, and it works flawlessly. Love it.
I agree. I really like my Dogtra Pathfinder 2 as well. I've used it quite a bit the past few months. I really like the crystal clear maps. I like that it doesn't lose service very much, and I don't have many bad things to say about it at all. Dogtra Pathfinder 2, the official GPS collar partner of UKC. Thank you for listening to the UKC Hunting Ops Podcast. Be sure to give us a follow so you don't miss any of our new episodes or content.